When Father Andre Quain founded the Brothers of the Sacred Heart, he used as his preamble to their rule of life to rescue the young from ignorance, to prepare them for life, and to give them a love and knowledge of religion. And at that time, it was political turmoil, it was social, economic turmoil, it was, as I say, the French Revolution. And I don't think it's a whole lot different right now. It's an uneasy time. It's challenging for everybody, not only politically and economically, but also COVID-19 has certainly had its share of impact on us.
There's a high level of compassion that you don't always see from teenagers, but it exists in this building amongst the student body.
And I think that's what makes us such a good community. We know a lot about each other and we share things with each other. BG has been a leader in making sure that kids are known, valued, and treasured.
Treasured, that goes both ways. You treasure the school, the family, the community in here, and you know that goes the other way around. The school is here for you. So coming to BG, you know that you value academics. You know that the community is good. You know that the extracurriculars are good. That means that you value education, and you also value the people.
You feel appreciated. You feel loved. One of the first things I noticed as a freshman was the really close relationship between teachers and students.
They treat you like their own children. They're always available before school, after school, to meet with you, and it doesn't even have to be about school-related issues.
Miss Krafka was always really instrumental in my experience with the Redbird Jazz Club, because my freshman year I was lucky enough to have the opportunity to sing a solo, the song Unforgettable by Nat King Cole. When I approached her with this idea, a little bit uncertain, she was like, go for it. And I always had like her support and her willingness to help me rehearse so that I could go into that audition and do it as best as I could.
All three of my kids came to BG, and each of them couldn't have been more different and more unique. And yet each of them found a niche here. And all three had very different experiences, all three extremely successful through college and beyond. And each of them, when they talk about school, their BGs all looked a little bit different, but they all felt the same.
I'm a firm believer that if we can graduate a student from here who has the academic skills, who knows something, who has some work ethic and some habits, who understands how to manage their time, and we combine that with somebody who has a sense of vision about what the world could be, and the ability to listen to other people and to have a conversation and to have a debate without becoming angry with somebody, or to entertain differing viewpoints, or to synthesize some of the complex problems that we have to face, then I firmly believe that student is going to be really positioned to be incredibly successful and to make a difference in what they do down the road. That is borne out in our graduates, that we see a lot of our graduates very quickly end up in a position of influence and doing great things and making the world a better place.
I think it's important to let the world know that what they tell you at Acceptance Students Night can happen. One of the things that they said in the last Acceptance Students Night was people often get their money back in form of merit scholarships and for what they paid for BG tuition. Literally, for my oldest daughter, to the dollar almost, we got it all back.
One thing I didn't appreciate was the maturity that I gained coming out of BG. I didn't realize that until I got to Boston, where I went to school. And I realized how quickly I adapted to everything, because I felt like I fit because I knew what I was doing academically. BG prepared me for that.
Come here knowing that you want to be someone. Come here, and we'll help you get there.
Without a doubt, hands down, they prepared me to go on to the next chapter, which for a BG student is college.
It was so satisfying to receive that diploma, walk across that stage, get that diploma, after knowing how much hard work you put in, and also all your classmates getting through it, and the teachers being able to watch you walk across the stage. I mean, there's lots of teachers that were crying at the end of graduation.
So I had this father one time who said, when I looked at my camera and I looked at it, I realized that every picture I took was my son was hugging his teachers goodbye. And that's where the tears were. And I think, how lucky are we that kids cry because they have to leave? Because that's how tight our relationships are formed between the adults and our kids. Our kids will never, ever deny that they were not known, valued, treasured, and most importantly, loved.
They knew my child. When I would go and I would sit at parent-teacher conference. They were prepared. When I would float out a concern, they could give me examples. They had answers. They didn't have to think about it over the weekend. They clearly knew my son. It's really been the best decision we could have made. It's just a special place.